Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Pokemon Crystal. Last time we had quite a long episode where we went around the world trying to get as much stuff as we could with Surf. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to grab quite all of it, so this time we are going to be wrapping that up and then hopefully progressing onwards on our adventure. So first things first, we're allowed to sneak back here on Route 34, and right here we have a nugget, which is really cool. Now, I believe there's also a hidden item somewhere around here. Yes, there is a rare candy. Very nice. We're picking up a lot of these as of late. But the one thing that some people might not know about is if you come all the way down here, we have a wild Pokemon. I really need to get stronger than these wild Pokemon in the water. If we sneak right down here, we have 3 trainers, believe it or not. Kya, someone found us! There is a trio of cool trainers down here, and they all have this as their little secret hideaway, as it were. Very, very interesting little thing they've got going here. And it looks like they're actually more reasonably leveled than the trainers from last episode. That was kind of insane. Not gonna lie, I was not expecting the trainers in Union Cave to be quite that powerful. And I legitimately thought a few times last episode that we were going to outright lose a fight. Which, wouldn't be fun. Especially since I managed to get through all of Pokemon Yellow without losing a fight. And, like, if I lost a fight during Crystal, that would be embarrassing for my personal pride. Anyway, Elekid gets level 21, very nice. And next up is a Seaking. Definitely want to keep Elekid in for that, because Seaking is pretty powerful for this point in the game, especially seeing how it out-levels us by 3. A little concerning. Luckily it misses the Supersonic, and one more Thunder Punch should bring it down unless we get supremely unlucky. There we go, very good. And that gives us a lot of experience, wowee. Oh, too strong. And we get some money, and immediately afterwards, no chance for a break, we have another trainer. You can't beat Irene and go unpunished. Yeah, it's really neat how these trainers will reference the other trainers that you fight, because you do have to fight them in a fixed order. It's kind of like a little mini gauntlet. Kind of fun that way. And here we have Staryu with a sprite that seems a little more washed out than I remember. I don't know, I could have sworn Staryu had a better sprite in this game, but maybe I'm just getting confused with a different title. Alright, it's gonna hit us with Water Gun, which is cute because we've already leveled up to Surf, so yeah, Water Gun probably ain't gonna do too terribly much to us. And wow, that actually survived that. I am impressed that it survived that. Now, I should point out something at the beginning of this episode. There is a big, big storm on the radar coming, like, right towards me. And I'm trying to get this episode completely done before it shows up, so hopefully we can get that all squared away. But yeah, I'm probably going to be glancing out my window every once in a while recording this episode, just to see if we're going to have some weather-related issues. That is not a weather-related issue, that is some other issue. But I think we can switch into Croconaw, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe Starmie is part Psychic. So I think it should take extra damage from Bite. Not positive, but I think it will. Am I right about that? Yes, I am. And wow, that thing took that attack like a champion. Now, I find it kind of strange how, like, all of these trainers seem to have Water-type Pokemon, but I guess it makes sense because they would have to surf over here. So maybe it's more of a lore perspective. Gotta make everything make sense, because Game Freak's all about making everything make sense. At least, when it comes to the game mechanics. The stories are another thing altogether. Anyway, gonna keep using Bite, and hopefully this thing won't get into spamming Recover, because that would be frustrating. Alright, gonna go down? No. It'll be close. And it uses Recover again. I really don't like it when the AI is given Recover. It basically just draws things out more than anything else, but as long as he doesn't do this, okay. You really want to play this game with me? Game? Really? I already had to deal with really, really stupid battles last episode. Oh my god, come on! Oh, this is so stupid. Like, I know the AI is basically trained for self-preservation before anything else, and it is pouring rain out. Good. Hopefully that doesn't come out too bad on the mic, but like, I was looking at that radar, and this was more than that distance away. Okay, good, a critical. Very good. Nice. And we get level 27 on Crocodile. Very cool. And down goes the second cool trainer. So sorry, Irene. Sis. Okay, so they're sisters. Interesting. Man, it is coming down outside. You sure were mean to my little sisters. But yeah, I checked the radar and it's like, about an hour. And that was like 15 minutes ago, so, yeah. Alright. Here we have a Shelter, which is a fun one. I believe Shelter's technically ice type, so it might actually take super effective damage from Bone Club. Gonna give it a shot right there. It's gonna put a bowl on its head, at least that's how I always perceived that move animation to be, and that actually didn't do too terribly much, so we're just gonna... Oh, right. Huh. That's awkward. Okay, I think we're just gonna stay in, and since Bone Club didn't do too terribly much, we're gonna try headbutting this thing. But yes, this is the introduction of the move Protect, which is kind of annoying. Now, the interesting thing about Protect in Generation 2, and I think Generation 1, is if you try and attack a Pokemon while it has Protect in play, it will outright state the attack misses, instead of it just failing. Really strange. Alright, luckily it looks like this thing's having about as much luck with Supersonic as I am, which is really nice. And man, it's got so much defensive power up right now because of that withdraw. Luckily, I am very doubtful this thing is actually packing a recovery move. But what it is packing is Aurora Beam, which can be really scary. Aurora Beam is basically a weaker version of Ice Beam, as I understand it. So you've got a Pokemon on your team that's weak to Ice, keep it well away from this thing, because it can mess you up if you're not careful. Alright. Come on. And it missed. Alright, you have to go through like a big song and dance every time the AI uses Protect in this game. It's kind of annoying. Alright, I'm gonna guess that a Cloyster is up next. Yeah, that's a little scary. But hopefully we can deal with it in due time. Gonna try and get as much damage onto this thing as possible before it starts using defense boosting moves, because that could get really awkward really quick. And also, holy crap, it's level 28. What is with the level curve in this game all of a sudden? All of a sudden the levels just sort of jump once you get access to Surf. I feel like the levels for the trainers locked behind Surf were sort of designed for trainers who have like 5 badges. But no, you can access them with 4 badges, and that makes things very awkward very quickly. Luckily, it looks like this guy is not really in the mood to increase his defense, which is convenient. But I really want to keep anyone weak to Ice away from this guy. Although, I think I am going to send in Golbat just to see if we can get the confusion off. We do go first, and we do get him confused, which is really nice. And wow, I'm never going to get over how trippy the Confuser animation is in this game. Alright, hit yourself. No, and he gets off the Supersonic, of course. This game's like a troll sometimes. Alright, we're just gonna try biting a little bit more and watch me hit myself. Yep, I hit myself because this game is awesome. Okay, good, he hit himself too, so I guess we got a good little bit of, retribution there. And we get through the confusion and we hit with bite, very cool. Alright, we're really close to having this guy down, so we basically just need to get in one more attack. If this one-shots Golbat, which it doesn't, wow. I was gonna say we're just gonna have to switch in someone who's fast, but no, we actually get through it. Nice. Get a lot of experience for that one. Wow, almost like a level and a half there. And we have won. No, I can't believe I lost. And for defeating these 3 trainers... You're too strong. I didn't stand a chance. Here, you deserve this. we will receive the Soft Sand, which is a held item that can boost the power of ground-type moves. I'm sorry we jumped you. We never expected anyone to find us here. You sure startled us. But yeah, that item is actually a good equip for Cubone, so I'm going to put that on there real quick. Alright, now that that's done, we are here on Route 35 for the very last thing we can get with Surf at this point before making any story progress. Head right on across here, and we have a fruit-bearing tree with Mystery Berry. Mystery Berry restores 5 power points to 1 move on 1 Pokemon. It was kinda sorta replaced with the Lepa Berry in later games, although the Lepa Berry restores 10 and not 5. Also, you might be wondering, is there a hidden item up here? No, there is not. I'm not sure what's up with that. I'm starting to get to be a real fan of that little editing trick right there. Anyway, here we are in Ecruteak City, because there is one thing here I want to show that has nothing to do with Surf. If we head back in here after obtaining the Fog Badge, this guy is actually gone, and we can progress onwards through this little underground tunnel right here. Very, very interesting. However, if we try and leave out this way, Tin Tower may be entered by those bearing Ecruteak's gym badge. However, now that Suicune, Raikou, and Entei have arisen, I ask you to refrain from entering. Seems something very interesting is going on here. Astounding. Suicune, Entei, and Raikou have arisen from their sleep. Is the legend coming true? We train at the burned tower, but we've never heard of a hole opening up there before. It must have been deliberately made by someone. Interesting indeed. Seems some things are going on with the legend here that even we could not have anticipated. But anyway, with that, I think it is time for us to progress onwards. Now, I am going to point out something very important for the structure of this series for the next little bit. As you can see, the path splits here in Ecruteak City. You can either go east or you can go west. And you can actually make it all the way to the next town in either direction. Now, I think just to make it easier, I have said in the past that I'd like to go over the earliest point when you can obtain Pokemon. But because the path splits in this way, the bookkeeping for that could get quite nightmarish very quickly. So instead, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be completely ignoring the eastern path for now, and we are going to be progressing westward to start here. So we're not actually going to be going over the Pokemon you can find to the east until later, and I hope you can understand the reasoning behind that decision. One of the Pokemon out that way is Girafarig, I know, which is not very good. But yeah, there aren't too many really, really great Pokemon out that way, so I feel like it's not that big of a deal that we're skipping it. Where did you say you're from? New Barktown. Professor Elm lives over there, right? You've come a long way to get here. Indeed we have, and I have to say, I love the music on Route 38 right here. Olivine City to Ecruteak City. So yep, there is another city along this pathway right here that we're going to try and reach. And with any other route, there are trainers. Hi, aren't you a cute trainer? May I see your Pokemon? Absolutely, lady. Alrighty. This route isn't too terribly long. There's a few trainers on it, but I don't think we're going to have too many problems, especially since, as you can see, these trainers are of a more reasonable level than the trainers that we've been fighting over the past couple of videos. So hopefully things will work out okay. I've also swapped Heracross into the front because it really needs to catch up in the levels. I'd really like it to get to be at least level 20 before too terribly long here. Unfortunately, we're poisoned, which isn't too terribly fun. But anyway, on this route there is tall grass, and with tall grass comes new Pokemon. At all times of day, you can obtain the Pokemon Magnemite, which will evolve into Magneton. If you didn't hatch an electric type from the odd egg, I think this is your first opportunity to get a hold of a really solid electric type in Pokemon Crystal. And I highly recommend you take it, because electric types are going to be pretty useful in the future, because there will come a point where we're going to have to cross quite a bit of water. Also, at nighttime only, you can capture the Pokemon Meowth, which will evolve into Persian. Ooh, Heracross is trying to learn Fury Attack. That's an interesting one. It's not very good in my opinion, but I have not used Endure one time, and it's not very useful in single player, so we're just going to replace Endure with it, and we're probably going to get rid of Fury Attack before too long as well. Alright. I'm glad I got to see your Pokemon. I'm glad I got to see yours, lady. Alright. And, oh my god, Joey. Anyway, there are a couple more Pokemon that you can get on this route. During the daytime, you can obtain Tauros and Miltank, which are kind of like gender opposites of each other. Tauros is always male and Miltank is always female. Kind of an interesting little factoid right there. Right here we have a berry tree, which is going to come in handy very, very soon. You're going to want 7 or 8 berries coming up pretty soon, so you're going to want to go on a little bit of a crusade around the world and get as many as you can. Fly high into the sky, my beloved bird Pokemon. Alright, looks like we have a bird keeper right here. So yeah, I think we have gone over all of the Pokemon we can get directly on this route, although this route is going to give us access to some others, but we're not going to be talking about that for a little bit, just because we haven't seen the thing that I'm talking about yet, to put it in basic words. Alright, and I'm really, really happy that we're getting back to one-shotting or nearly one-shotting stuff, because these last couple of episodes have been kind of a nightmare. Alright, I'd really like Heracross to survive this fight to get the experience, so, yeah, we're gonna switch over to Elekid. Elekid will definitely be able to deal with this guy's Pokemon with very little issue. And man, I just love seeing that shiny animation every time we send Elekid into battle. That was just not something I was expecting to be able to do in this series, is to have a shiny Elekid, because out of all the possibilities of the odd egg hatching, a shiny Elekid specifically is a 1 in 50 chance, so we got insanely lucky getting an Elekid specifically, which I'm really, really hyped up about, in case you couldn't tell. Alright, got another Doduo right here. Thunder Punch is pretty much guaranteed to one-shot this thing. I'd be extremely surprised if it didn't. Yes, there we go. And I'm gonna guess that we're just gonna have another Doduo. Yep, another Doduo. Now, we haven't actually had the opportunity to catch this Pokemon yet, and I don't think we're actually gonna be able to for quite a bit, which is probably a very, very common thing that you're gonna be running into in this game. Like, for example, that trainer that used Kangaskhan in the last episode, we're not going to be able to get that for a while, so yeah, keep that in mind. Anyway, I'm going to go heal up Heracross real quick, so it can get experience, and I will be right back. Well, that's a shame. Alright, back onto Route 38, and man, I cannot get over how awesome this music is. I love it so much. I've been overseas, so I know about all sorts of Pokemon. Now, fun, interesting fact about the music that plays on Route 38. Believe it or not, this track is actually in the data of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. And I assume the reason for that is they decided to pick a track from Gold and Silver to port into the Ruby and Sapphire engine just to test out their new music creation tools. And it's really interesting. You can look it up on YouTube, but the track actually is pretty low energy because it seems like it's a very, very early attempt to utilize the Ruby and Sapphire music engine. So it seems to me that they weren't totally comfortable with the full capabilities of the engine. You seem to be good at Pokemon. If you are, how about giving me some advice? This trainer is pretty important. Hello, phone. This trainer is Last Dana. Last Dana sends out a Fluffy, which is a very, very fluffy Pokemon, as you can probably imagine. This trainer, if you get her phone number after you battle her, will give you a very, very important item if you are training specific kinds of Pokemon. This item is pretty niche in the overall scheme of things because it doesn't help you evolve too terribly many Pokemon, but it's definitely something you want to be aware of because it'll be the only opportunity to get this item reliably until much later in the game. Anyway, next up is a Psyduck. I think I'm just going to keep in with Heracross right here because, I mean, it's a Psyduck and it's level 18. I think / hope I can handle it. Alright, yeah, we're going to be alright. It's going to use Disable on me right here, which disables Horn Attack. Disable actually works differently in Gold, Silver, and Crystal than it did in Red, Blue, and Yellow. In Red, Blue, and Yellow, disable would disable a random move of the target, but in this game it will specifically disable the last move the target used, which means if that target hasn't used a move when disable is used, it just won't work. So yeah, I think that's definitely the better option there. It removes the luck aspect, which makes the move more usable in my opinion. I see, so you can battle that way. Indeed I can. Speak to her. I know something good. MooMoo Farms milk is famous for its flavor. You're really good at Pokémon. Boys give me items after battles, but sometimes they give me too much. Next time I can share some if you want. Let me get your phone number. Last Dana will sometimes call you if you get her phone number, and she will give you an item called the Thunderstone. If you hatched a Pichu from the odd egg and evolved it into Pikachu, you can use this item to evolve that Pikachu into Raichu. Also, if you got the Eevee from Bill in Goldenrod City, you can use this item to evolve that Eevee into Jolteon. Unfortunately, I do not plan on evolving either of these Pokemon in this way, so we are going to refuse the phone number. Aw, you don't want anything? But it's all for free. Yeah, I suppose that is a reasonable request for that. Also, I just remembered something that might be important. Alright, quick pit stop at Bill's house because of something I actually forgot to do the last time we were here. If you speak to Bill after you complete the transaction with Eevee, that was a really weird way to say it, but once you get the Eevee from him, my pop, he won't work. All he does is goof off all day long. He's getting to be a real headache. Well, maybe it's not him. Is it his sister? My husband was once known as a Pokemaniac. Bill must have taken after his father. Are you a trainer? I've got a useful phone number for you. Yes, this is what you want. Say yes, and you will get Bill's phone number. This is very, very, very valuable to you, and a lot of people don't actually know you can do this. My big brother Bill made the PC Pokemon storage system. Basically, now that you have Bill's number, you can call him to see how much space is left in the Pokemon box you currently have set to memory. And once that box is full, he will call you to tell you it's full, and that you should go back and change it in the PC system. So yeah, this is a really good way to make sure that you never wind up in a battle with a really important Pokemon, and then find out, whoop, your box is full, you can't catch this. I'm really sorry that I forgot to show this the last time we were here, but I honestly completely forgot. Anyway, back to Route 38. Alright, sorry about that little detour, but that was just something I completely forgot about, and I wanted to show it really quick before I forgot about it again. Anyway, right here we have another trainer. Let me try something I learned today. You a schoolboy? I assume you're a schoolboy. Am I correct about this? Looks like? Alright, schoolboy Chad wants to battle. And he sends out Mr. Mime, which is another one of those weird Pokemon that they show off super early, but you can't get until quite a bit later. Seriously, I don't get why they do this. I feel like it's something that they sort of stopped doing later in the series, but for this point in the series, it's just a really odd sort of tease that they do. Because a big thing about Pokemon is being able to use all the same things that your opponent can use, so you're really on perfectly level ground. But then the AI shows up with this Pokemon that we're not going to be able to get for quite a while yet in the game. It just seems really, really strange how they do that. Anyway, it does have Confusion, and it scored a really nice critical on me right there. Are you for real, game? Ay. Alright, we're just going to send in Cubone, and I guess Cubone's going to be the one to pick up the level unless this somehow miraculously one-shots me. Okay, good, it didn't. Bone Club right there, down goes Mr. Mime, get a lot of experience, and Cubone gets level 21. Very, very good. And is trying to learn Focus Energy. Unlike in Red, Blue, and Yellow, Focus Energy is not broken. Focus Energy can greatly increase your critical hit ratio, which is really, really nice. I'm pretty sure it only works once when you use it though, so you can't try and stack them and get a stupid high critical ratio. It only raises it once. I didn't study enough, I guess. Guess you didn't, buddy. Alright, another trainer right here. This might be the last one on the route. Don't you think my Pokemon and I are beautiful? Well, I mean, for an 8-bit sprite, I mean, I guess you look pretty beautiful. I mean, I really like that shade of blue. Not gonna lie. Anyway, Beauty Olivia right here. I am willing to bet if they ever re-release the Johto games, this lady is going to get renamed because any trainer in a remake that has a name of a trainer that was introduced like in a different game, they're just going to change their name. So like for example, I'm pretty sure somewhere in Gold, Silver, and Crystal there is a trainer named Norman, and in Heart Gold and Soul Silver they actually changed his name because of the Norman introduced in Ruby and Sapphire. Really, really interesting attention to detail. So yeah, if they ever remake Gold and Silver, they're probably going to change this lady's name just because of the Olivia that was introduced in Pokemon Sun and Moon. We drink MooMoo milk every day. Don't worry, unlike the milk in Majora's Mask, this milk is not strongly implied to be alcoholic. Trainer tips. If a Pokemon is trying to evolve, you can stop it. Press the B button during evolution. That startles the Pokemon and stops its evolution. Fun fact, that trainer tip is not here in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. At least I don't think it is, because it's actually in the trash can in Professor Elm's lab, so if you check the garbage you can read a memo that says this. So I mean, I assume they took it out of this area for some reason. Anyway, right here we have Route 39, and I think that is where we are going to stop. So, this past episode of Pokemon Crystal, we wrapped up everything that we could find with Surf. We also got Bill's phone number, we checked out the new little bit of area in Necrotique City, and we came here to Route 38 and did all of the exploring we could do. Lots of stuff, and in a shorter package as well. And next time, we are going to be exploring Route 39 and perhaps even beyond. So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.